There are two main approaches to translating the Bible, and they exist on a spectrum. The first one is usually called the formal equivalence approach, and it attempts to render the Greek or Hebrew in a word to word or literal manner. The other is usually called the dynamic equivalence approach or the functional equivalence approach, and it attempts to translate the ideas of the Hebrew or Greek into the equivalent ideas of the modern language like English. Dynamic equivalent translations are less concerned with matching individual Hebrew and Greek words to their individual modern English counterparts. Here's a modern English example to illustrate. It's raining cats and dogs. A formal equivalence approach would want to keep these exact words as closely as possible. So, because we're going from English to English, it could still be, it is raining cats and dogs. The only change there is expanding the contraction it's to it is. But if we jump in our time machine and travel to the year 2325, where it's raining cats and dogs doesn't make any sense because it's not a common English expression anymore, people wouldn't know what that means. They would think it is literally raining cats and dogs.
It's raining cats and dogs out there, Martha. Come here and look.
A formal equivalence or word for word translation might still want to keep that phrase because they want to be literal. They want to keep the same words in the same order. A dynamic equivalence might choose something else. They might choose like a Gen Z rendering in the year 2325 because that's now how everyone speaks. The sky chose violence, or the sky is going feral right now. The words have been completely changed. The verb raining isn't even used, but the same idea is expressed. But because these two are ends of a spectrum, a translation in the middle might be something like, it is raining very hard. This keeps the verb raining, but throws out the now unknown expression, cats and dogs. Or if we wanted to be slightly more dynamically equivalent, we might say, it is pouring, which changes the verb raining to a different verb altogether, but still communicates that it's raining very, very hard. So, in short, two different translation approaches. Formal equivalence tends to be word for word, and dynamic equivalence tends to be idea for idea. And different modern translations use these different strategies when it comes to the Bible. And in my opinion, both of them are helpful, and what translation one uses largely depends on what one is attempting to do and the context in which they are reading. Maybe something more word for word or formal equivalence for personal study of the Bible, and maybe something more dynamically equivalent, more idea for something like personal devotions.